So what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a video on a 2018 Ram 2500. This does have a Cummins, it's a Laramie package. This is almost the identical truck I had. The only difference is the colors of the interior and the exterior. But apart from that, it has the same options. And I have never towed conventionally with that previous truck. So today we're going to change that. So as you guys can see, this truck only has 14,708 miles. So this doesn't have a lot of miles on it. Whoever owned it, they took pretty good care of it. I mean, this is a truck, so typically trucks get beaten up pretty badly. But man, I do miss this interior. Now that I have my 2019, though I love the way they look, this truck was just so clean, so contemporary. Man, and the black interior did not look bad on this truck. Check out the seat wear. Everything looks pretty good. So as you guys know, you probably saw the thumbnail, you know we're gonna be towing with this bad boy today, and I cannot wait. But let's go ahead and get the hitch on. I have my tape measure, I think, so we're gonna measure today. And like I said, we'll see how well this 5-link coil suspension does with tongue weight. All right, so this truck does have a backup camera. And if you did opt for the high mount camera system, you could get a camera for the bed too. This truck does not have that though. As far as towing features, this truck does have tow haul mode, obviously, and a diesel exhaust brake, since it does have the Cummins. Now we're gonna go ahead and install my Anderson hitch. This is for a class 5 receiving hitch, so we're gonna use this today. I just pulled it off my Ram truck, which is a 3500, so we'll be using that. And let's go ahead and check out the hardware on the outside. Alright guys, so as I mentioned inside, this is going to be a class 5 receiving hitch, so this is going to be a 2.5-inch opening. And we're going to be using the 2 5/16 ball today. And check this out. Whoever owned this truck, they did a skull for the ram head. I thought that was pretty cool. Now this truck does not have an assisted tailgate. And as you guys can see, spray and bed liner, this was done from the factory. And there was an option for a 5th wheel prep package too on this truck, but the good news is you can still add that after the fact. So let's go ahead and check out the numbers on the door so you guys know what this truck's capable of towing. Okay, so the gross axle weight rating in the front is going to be 6,000 pounds. Gross axle weight rating in the rear is going to be 6,500 pounds. This truck does have a 10,000 pound GVWR. And all in payload capacity is 1,980 pounds. Let's go ahead and measure the truck so we can see how much it's going to squat. Man, I love that diesel sound. And this diesel is a little bit louder than mine for sure. Actually, let's go forward just a little bit. Get this bad boy nice and centered up. Back it up now. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's a little dark. I can't really see where I'm at, but I feel like I'm getting under there. Oh, let's go check out what's going on back here. All right guys, so this is news to me. This truck sits higher than my Mega Cab. Like my Mega Cab was like down here, and look where this one's at in comparison. Okay, so I had to lift this up. But let me go ahead and move the truck up though before we do that. Alright guys, so I just measured. I'm just going to show it to you. I'm going to use 43 3/4 just because I like that number better. Alright, so you can use whatever number you want, but 43 3/4 is what I'm using. Man guys, did this truck even drop? I gotta look at that footage again, but let's just go through this really quickly. So I have my change cross secure, breakaway switch is secure, my coupler lock is secure, and my coupler lock is down for the ball. 7-pin connector. And the one thing I want to point out here, so my locking pin for this. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. This is actually for a 2-inch. So this is too short. I'm gonna use it because it is secure. But just keep that in mind when you're doing your research and buying stuff, okay? It's better to have a little bit longer one. But as you guys can see, everything works perfectly down here. I love the way Ram does this. So let's go ahead and play with the trailer brake. And let's get on the road. I'm excited to tow with this bad boy. Let's see. Trailer brake is here. I don't remember if my truck had a system for the trailer, but let's just go through here really quickly. Settings. Ooh. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to use this. Oh, there is. So there is one for trailer. So let's go ahead and do, yeah, light electric is what we need. So that's the current trailer, trailer 1. Hopefully you guys saw that. And let's check out where the brakes are. Yeah, that's too high. So we're gonna go down to about 4.5. Let's just drive forward. And I'm gonna pull it just real quickly. Okay, so 4.5 is good. I could go with 4, but we'll keep it where it's at. I'm gonna keep the mirrors down today. We obviously know that these mirrors are good when they're up. And I'm gonna do a test with my truck to show that. So we're just gonna do it this way for now. But let me go ahead and set up my camera, and we're gonna reset the fuel economy today too to see how well it does. All right, so let's go ahead and adjust these mirrors. Oh yeah, nice. I do like the mirrors flipped up when I'm towing, but I'm gonna leave them like this because I can still see around the trailer pretty well. Just a little bit more fine tuning needs to be involved. Man, guys, that 5-link coil suspension, man, it did the trick, didn't it? Man. Let's see how well it does at higher speeds, though. See, I can feel the back and forth motions a little bit more so on this truck. I did not show you the tires yet, so I'll do that while we're driving. One thing I haven't done much in the past was showing you guys the temperatures for like the transmission, so I'll be sure to show that to you guys on these tests. It's very important actually. So I will say this truck with that 342 axle, huge difference. I have it all the way down, and we're kind of going up a little bit of a grade here, not a big one, but it's steadily accelerating. But boy, I'll tell you, that diesel exhaust brake, no joke. I mean, it works really good. And I have it on full exhaust brake too, so when you take your foot off the gas, it comes on for you. Alright, let's hit it one more time. Yeah, this truck with the 342 axle does not have that torque that the newer Cummins has. But, I mean, I'm going 55 miles an hour. I went on the same route with the Ram 1500, it was the Rebel, and I feel like this truck is already outperforming it. I mean, I'm just nice and comfortable. I can take a nap, but I gotta watch the road. Under the hood, this does have a 6.7 liter inline 6 Cummins. This is good for 370 horsepower, 800 pound-feet of torque. This thing will get the job done. It is made to a 6-speed, 68 RFE, and it has a 342 axle. The only thing that's even better about this 2018 is you could have gotten this with a 6-speed manual, which was a G56, and this was the last year for that manual transmission. So they're still out there. If I have a chance, I would love to test one out in a 3/4 ton. One of my friends, I got to give him a shout out. I got to get him on my channel first though, because he actually has a G56 in his dually. So hopefully, stay tuned. We're going to try to do some videos with him. I'm going to give him a call out here. Maybe he'll respond in the comment section so we can get him going. When we get up to the end of the road, I'm going to switch cameras so you guys can see acceleration. The truck is completely warmed up, but I feel like this truck, having the power that it doesn't seem as strong as my truck is. So there's definitely a difference in the high output Cummins. Like, I can definitely tell that this truck, it's not struggling by any means. I want you guys to know it's not struggling, but having that 342 axle on this truck, I feel like it kind of robbed it of its performance. I'd be interested to do this with a high output Cummins with the 342 single rear wheel. All right, so let's go ahead and switch cameras so you guys can see acceleration. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna send it at 20 miles an hour, okay? Here we go. It's wide open throttle. There we go. Whew. This thing is just going. 60, 65, 70, 75. Whew. Man, this truck is getting it. Wow. All right, let's go ahead and put it at 65 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and switch cameras again. All right, currently I'm at about, oh, just shifted up, but I was at about 1,250 RPMs. Back up to about 1,800 RPMs. But yeah, this truck is just doing a phenomenal job. I'm getting about 7 MPG. I think I'm gonna go down a little bit further and then come back up. I'm gonna reset it again since we were doing wide open throttle back there. But 7.4 wide open throttle going 75 miles an hour from 20 miles an hour. That is good fuel economy. With the Ram 1500, we were getting like about what? I think 5 maybe with wide open throttle, 5 or 6. And I think the 6 was after we were kind of coasting down back to that MPG. But yeah, this truck, it handles very well. I have nothing against the coil suspension on the Rams. If anything, this truck didn't drop at all. It didn't seem like it did from the video, but I mean, it's doing a good job. Although the overall acceleration wasn't as great as I've seen like on previous trucks, fuel economy definitely does really improve having that 342 axle. I mean, even on those bumps just now, the truck wasn't, you know, moving too much. It was pretty nice and stiff, but overall the truck is comfortable with the weight behind me. But what I was saying was the 342 is doing really good on the fuel economy because I've been climbing a good bit, and I feel like I'm only getting 8 MPG with all this climbing I've been doing. I mean, I'm actually really happy with this. I'm gonna hit it again. Yeah, this truck is definitely a little bit slower than my high output for sure. I can't wait to show you guys the performance difference. But it's not bad though. I mean, I'm going 75, 80 miles an hour. I mean, it's just such a good truck, such a good Cummins. And it has a CP3. So if you don't want to have the issues that some guys have been having out there on the newer Cummins engines with the CP4, this is definitely a good option to have too with that. Yeah, the diesel exhaust brake, it holds some speed for me. It's actually dropping it. I'm going 70 miles an hour right now. I wish that Ram would increase the GVWR of their truck so that we can tow more trailer like fifth wheels, because this 5-link suspension is getting the job done. The coil suspension is not a bad thing. I mean, even with the brakes, I'm hitting the brakes right now, 40, 30, yeah, it's just dropping. The brakes are great on this truck. Brakes are really good. And I love how loud this engine is too. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a U-turn here. Whew. Let's see, I'm gonna use this camera too. Hold on, I'm gonna switch. Here we go. Ooh, did a burnout just now. Hopefully you guys can see the RPMs this time. The sun's in front of us now. Oh, check that out, guys. That is amazing. That is amazing. Wow. All right, guys, so for that 41.5, so it dropped a little bit. One recommendation I can give you, if you are buying these newer Ram trucks, they do use these Firestone Transforce AT tires. They're not good tires. They are LT 285 60/20s. These wear out pretty quickly when you start towing, so just keep that in mind. Now, the overall capacity for this tire is listed right here. You're gonna have max load of 3,640 pounds, so they have a good amount of capacity. If you do a dual, it's 3,305 pounds. So they do a good job in terms of how much they can handle in weight. The problem is they just wear out really fast. I got some wind hitting me this way, but I don't feel like the truck is not handling it well. I reset the fuel economy again just to see what kind of gas mileage I can get without having all the wide open throttle. But the wind's hitting me, so I'm kind of getting bad. It's at 6.5 right now, averaging about 65 miles an hour. They don't do that on the newer Rams, by the way. They took away the average speed, and I thought that kind of sucked when they did that. I like to see that. We're kind of going downhill right now. Man, I do miss my Ram 2500, man. That truck was nice. Hope you guys can see this, but this is the temperatures. Coolant's at 190. Transmission is jumping between 168 and 170. And the oil temperature is 201. So that's about in spec. When you guys check out the Eisen, it's gonna be like this all the time. It never gets over 170 degrees unless it's 100 degrees outside. But this is a good comparison right now. So just to give you an idea of the temperatures. So I'll show it to you one more time when we stop, okay? The 68 RFE has been doing a pretty good job. I don't remember liking my 68 RFE, whether it was loaded or unloaded, but I definitely don't remember performing this well. I mean, this one is doing a pretty good job. I'm getting 14.5 MPG. This is going up steadily. I mean, it's only on about 3 miles, unfortunately. I'm not gonna lie to you, but, and we're just going downhill now, but I bet you can get easily 13 miles, if not 14, with this kind of weight. And then, as I mentioned in other videos, I have a little bit more stuff inside the trailer, so I can't really tow this right now with half tons, just because it's just too much tongue weight. But overall, like I said, guys, this truck's doing a really good job. I'm gonna go around one more time to get a good feel for the fuel economy, and then that'll pretty much end the driving part of this video. Whoever owned this truck, this does have the off-road package, so it does have the Bilstein shocks. I guess they just took off the badges. Not a big deal, because I would have done the same thing. But you can see the Bilsteins here. Now this truck could have been those could have been added aftermarket, but I do see here that it has downhill assist, and I believe that downhill assist became available with that package too. Look at the downshifts. This is a great truck. This is the best towing truck of all time. This truck downshifts hard. Look at this thing. This is a 68 RFE. Does exactly the same thing the Eisen does. I mean, the diesel exhaust brake works amazing. Such a great truck, man. Ram makes a really good towing vehicle in the heavy duty segment. It really does. Like, I really think whenever I have a chance, I have to test all three similar trucks and just see how well they do. I tested a Chevy Silverado 2500 with the gas, and I mentioned that I would use a weight distribution hedge with that truck, and I wouldn't do it with this truck. I don't feel like you would need it. Having a solid front axle, it has its pros and cons. As you guys know, these things go through some front ends. Like, I've heard people replace them as soon as 50,000 miles, and you don't really have those issues with the GM truck with that independent front suspension. However, I remember, like, this truck, when I do that with the steering wheel, it's moving the entire truck. Like, this suspension is stiff, the frame is stiff. So when you shake this truck, the whole truck shakes. So wherever you're pointing this steering wheel, that's where the truck's going. And I don't feel like you get the same feedback from that independent front suspension on a heavy duty truck. So in my opinion, you're gonna need more hardware with the GM trucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, that 2015 Silverado was 3 years older than this truck, basically. Actually 2 years old. This is 28. Yeah, it was 3 years old. It was 3 years. Yeah, it was 3 years older than this, but it doesn't change the fact that it's the same truck up until 2019, I believe. And some of my subscribers, Rick West, Matt, give you guys a shout out, J-Rod, they all have had Chevy trucks, and Matt and Rick, they currently have one, and J-Rod, you're about to get a Ford truck, and hopefully this year we can do some testing because he's getting a 7.3, so I can't wait to do that. I'm really excited about that, guys. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and end off here. I'm gonna get back to the location, and then we'll check everything out. Check out where fuel economy ended off at. It was only 6 miles, but 10.8 MPG, guys. 10.8 MPG. And I bet you if we go a little bit longer, I bet you we can get better. I bet you we can get easily 13, 14 with this truck, no problem. And it's 42 degrees outside, so that's gonna affect fuel economy, so just keep that in mind. And here is the ending temperatures for the transmission and the oil and coolant. The transmission, it didn't get much over 170 degrees, but in the summertime, I do remember my 68 RF getting up to like 180 with my fifth wheel. But my new Cummins with the Eisen, that Eisen does not get hot, guys. I mean, that thing at best might get up to 173, 174, and that seems high for that transmission because it just stays so low in the temperatures. So what do you guys think about that video? I thought that this truck did really well. The coil suspension seems to do pretty good with this type of weight. I did tow my fifth wheel with my 2500. Now that was before I knew about payload and everything. This truck does not do good with 2,000 pound plus a pin weight. Obviously you're over on your payload capacity anyway, so you shouldn't be doing that, which is why I traded my truck in. But with this kind of weight, about 1,000 pounds on the tongue, I feel like this truck did really good. Like, I really feel like it was in control. But when you put 2,000 pounds, I was doing about 2,400 pounds at the time, and it was really bouncy. But this wasn't that way. Now, it could have been the Bilstein shocks too. That could have helped here also. I didn't mention that on the drive, but those Bilstein shocks might have helped with that too. But overall, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.